Welcome to another edition of the Urban Influencer. I'm your host, Finesse Demps, and I'm out of my norm. Normally, I'm doing, soul music, doing my thing. But since we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop, Urban Influencer has asked me to step up, see what I can do. And I've been around hip hop for as long as I can remember. I'm 56 years old. So to be celebrating 50 years of hip hop means a lot to me. But what it means is we are able to open up the discussion to interview artists from around the globe who are doing great things in hip hop, to speak to break dancers, to photographers, videographers, because what hip hop has done is showing us on a whole nother level. And today, what I'm able to do is interview an artist who's taking it back to the roots of hip hop. The roots of hip hop dealt with the community. It dealt with delivering a message other than who's the baddest or who has the most. So we're going to talk about that today, ladies and gentlemen. Got a hot new record. My guest today on the Urban Influencer is Mr. Buddah Chief. How you doing, sir? How are you doing today?
What's good, Finesse?
I am doing well.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. So let me get right into this, ask this question. 50 years of hip hop. When you hear that, what does the 50th anniversary of hip hop mean to you?
The 50th anniversary of hip hop means to me that we at the brink of something epic. You know what I'm saying? To me, age is just a number, but at the same token, 50 years is young. 50 years is young. It's all about how you handle yourself, how you age gracefully and everything. So for me, particularly, I'm from an iconic location in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, where I was blessed to grow up and see Disco Richie, of Divine Sounds, of Big Daddy Kane. You know what I'm saying? Those individuals are from the beginning, you know what I'm saying, from the forefront, talking about, the 70s and 80s, you know what I'm saying? And, to be a student of hip hop and to be the age that I'm at, it's a blessing to experience the things that I've experienced and to be able to deliver my experiences in the form of rap, you know what I'm saying, which is an art form and everything. So when you talk about 50 years and where we at in society, we at a great space, you know what I'm saying? I think this record that I created right now is a pivotal point for hip hop, especially being 50 years old.
When you look at where hip hop was back in the days in the 70s to where it is today is global. But there's some things in hip hop that are not celebrated that should be. The DJing, the breakdancing, and the art. Talk about what that whole era, an art form, has brought to the culture, and what would you like to see it do if it can come back and really be part of the hip hop culture?
I think it's still relevant, even the graffiti aspect, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it comes to the expression of what we are dealing with in the communities, you know what I'm saying? Even fashion has a lot to do with that, you know what I'm saying? We're very trend-setting. We dictate the culture with hip hop. So you talk about the dancing aspect. The dances are still there. It may not be break dancing, but the dancing element is still there. The airbrushing, the graffiti aspect, it has transcended not only on like the side of buildings, but it has transcended to actually the fashion. It's on the clothing and everything right now, so DJing, I would definitely love to see a lot more of that as well, because that encompasses the chemistry of individuality into the music, you know what I'm saying? So when I actually created a production called ChemLab Duos, which touches on like the DJ aspect, where you have like the DJ and the MC. You may have two MCs. You may have the producer and the MC. You know what I'm saying? But the DJ is a huge element because the DJ is the person that actually gets the crowd going before you even touch the mic. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to say a hype man or whatever the case may be, the DJ is what keeps the people in tune. You know what I'm saying? They dictate the energy of what's going on the dance floor and what's going on in the crowd and stuff. So that's an element I would like to see a lot more of. I actually would love to work with a DJ that is a part of my set, is a part of my group. I don't have that element in my music just yet, but I will definitely incorporate that moving forward.
I had the opportunity a couple of weeks ago to go to the Hip Hop Museum in DC and had a chance to speak with Special Ed, CL Smooth, and Drez. And one of the things they spoke about was getting back our culture. As someone who's been around this whole rap game, what are your thoughts on that when you hear them speak about something like that? Getting back our culture. What do you think about that?
You say get back our culture.
From the people that are dictating what hip hop is now. Right. Let me be specific.
Right. The corporations. The corporation has taken over, has taken away the cultural aspect of it, and this is why the music is, the energy is what it is now, because people feel they got to make a certain type of music to be accepted and to actually get involved into the culture. You know what I'm saying? So the culture is pretty much what's happening in our households and what we see outside and everything about that. And to a degree, people are right in that. But when you talk about the vibration of hip hop, it wasn't like that back in the days. The vibration is very negative right now, whereas while people are doing the killing and a lot of the negative, energy that's surrounding it. So we definitely have to get back our culture and not make it all about, the corporate, the capitalism. Is money gonna be made for one? Like I said earlier, we set the trends, we dictate the culture. You know what I'm saying? So this is why no matter what their product may be, they're associating their products and business tactics to hip hop, to an artist, you know what I'm saying? Because they know what it's gonna do for their bottom line. So you have to understand, like, if something doesn't go along with your integrity, don't do it for the check. Don't do it for the dollar. Don't do it for that level of success, because I can go deep and deep into this, but like what's happening with Kanye West right now is a prime example of that. And he's trying to take back the culture, you know what I'm saying, in his own way. But when you look at, I can't even sugarcoat it, but when you look at what's happening with Adidas and Kanye as an artist, there wouldn't have been the level of success with the Yeezy sneakers, had it not been for hip hop, had it not been for somebody that's so engulfed into our culture. Let's take it back to Run DMC. The sneakers wouldn't have been what it was without the culture, without the artist pushing the message via rap. You get what I'm saying? So it's so many different narratives that we can touch on towards like taking back the culture, because you can even talk about the film aspect. You know what I'm saying? So many different levels that we could really talk about taking back our culture.
Right. We're talking to Buddah Chief.
It's necessary. So like, that Get Down record is very, very prominent. You know what I'm saying? And I chose the community because I can't go but so far without my community towards getting back the culture. You know what I'm saying? So for you even to recognize, and you being the age that you had to recognize what this record, the impact that it will have, because you catching on to it early. You know what I'm saying? Before mainstream, before it get to a point where somebody try to remove me from the culture with a record like this.
Wow. We are talking to Buddah Chief here on the Urban Influencer. We're talking about the 50th year anniversary of hip hop. Plus, he's got a brand new single that we want everybody here and get behind. I meant to ask you this from the very beginning because people are confused. And maybe you can clarify the definition between hip hop and rap.
Well, hip hop is the culture. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is definitely the culture. And to make it simple, rap is just the form of translating the message. You know what I'm saying? So when you're talking about culture, we touched on DJing, breakdancing, graffiti. You know, we touched on those. A lot of those fall under the culture of hip hop, you know, but rap is the art form of expression. And this is just my definition. So as far as like me, for the culture, for the hip hop culture, my way of communicating to my people is via rap, which is the Get Down record. I have a docu-series called The Curator, which is touching on mental health awareness and the impact of the crack epidemic, how it had on us. So that's via like what you're watching, a docu-series. I'm also communicating with murals. I curate murals in my neighborhood. And that's another way to inspire and impact the community within, like, if you say like hieroglyphs or monumental type of aspect. Like I can't build I haven't built a skyscraper just yet, but when you walk past these murals and you see it, it touches you when you actually read it and witness it. This image on my shirt right here is actually one of the murals that's curated in my neighborhoods. So that's another way. As far as fashion is another way that I communicate. You know what I'm saying? So this is the way that I'm expressing my message, translating my message for the culture of hip hop.
And before I even go any further, I want to give opportunity for people to check out your website and social media. Can you share that with the people that are listening and they can check it out as we do this interview?
Yeah, definitely. You can go to buddhachief.com. That's buddhachief.com. My personal website is vonjeff.com, which is vonjeff.com. So just to give you some history, you know, I've been in the industry for some years now, and the industry know me as Von Jeff. I'm the director of A&R for Fight Club MTV2, the rap battle show.
Okay.
So that's like my history, but I rebranded myself as Buddah Chief as of lately, and the music that I'm creating now is as Buddah Chief. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And it's so I actually pull this to the side to show you like this is like my first project that I put out, Count Me In mixtape, and this is as Von Jeff. I dropped this I'll say about 10 years ago. So this is a project that I would definitely love for people to go check out. It's on SoundCloud, it's some visuals on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Definitely check it out and support that, because what's happening now, I've been talking about years ago. You know what I'm saying? So this is the artwork. This is actually the first artwork I had before I changed it for the Count Me In mixtape. You know, so definitely go check that out. And it's easier to access it through all my social medias through the website. But if you want to go directly to Instagram, my Instagram page is Buddah Chief. Buddah Chief the brand, THEBRAND, Buddah Chief _ the brand. That's my Instagram. And then my personal Instagram is Von Jeff _ Frank Mick, FRANCMICK.
One of the things I like is the fact that you're addressing mental health. How did that come about, and why do you feel that's important, especially in the hip hop community?
Because when you think about it, right, what are we really dealing with? What are we really dealing with? What are some of the expressions of hip hop? We dealing with trauma. We dealing with some of the things that we've experienced. So even within our household, and then when we leave outside of our household, we go outside, we dealing with a lot of things that impact us, that causes us to react certain ways. So I was born in 81. I was born into the crack epidemic. You know what I'm saying? But now that I'm older, to see the impact that it had on us, I'm like, hold up, some of the stuff I was dealing with when I was younger was not normal. It was not normal. And it's not only in New York that we was impacted by these type of things. So the remnants of a lot of the violence and the dysfunction and all that kind of stuff left trauma, but the root of it is mental health awareness. You know what I'm saying? Mental health illness and stuff like that. Because we wasn't taught as a people, because if you want to talk about slavery, we still dealing with the impact of that. We still dealing with the impact of our parents not getting along and having to grow up with a single parent household and all that kind of stuff. And I can go on and on with this. So when it comes to trying to deal with these worldly situations, and trying to deal with what's going on in your own cranium, it's a fight daily. And some people don't know what they're dealing with. It wasn't until I started to do transformational work and educate myself as far as like what I was dealing with. You know, I deal with, you know, depression and anxiety and stuff like that. But growing up, those words were not common. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know why I had a temper problem. I didn't know why I had an attitude. I didn't know why I was feeling angry. I didn't know why I wanted to fight so much in school and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And due to especially the crack epidemic, there was a lot of rampant black on black violence, crime. And when I speak to my elders, they tell me that there was drugs prior to the crack epidemic, but we wasn't behaving like that. We wasn't behaving like that. So for somebody in the community to be killed, it was some morals and principles behind why that individual had to be taken out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, like definitely check out the 2 episodes that I have so far is not out there just yet, but I can share it directly with you. I can send you the link for you to check it out and everything. And anybody else that, you know, want to hit me up, you can hit me up in the DM. I'm willing to share it because this is a conversation that needs to be had. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I definitely would, because we just started a show that's dealing with independent film directors and producers to shine light on Black stories and brown stories. And that's something we would like to have you come on another time to talk about that, because that is definitely a talking point. And myself, I'm producing a mental health show with another artist, and I work directly with him to talk about mental health, because it's a major thing. And let me give props to you black men that are coming out talking about it, because I grew up in the area just like you. Wasn't talked about. Black men, we were supposed to. I'm from New York, upstate.
Oh, you from New York? Okay.
Yep. Okay. And we weren't told to talk about our feelings, so we suppressed them. So for you brothers to come out, that's really good. And I'm blessed that I had a mother that allowed me to express myself. So for you brothers that didn't, I'm glad that y'all coming out speaking, because we need to hear from our brothers. We need to hear from our real kings to talk about these things so we can save our streets. So how did the mental health trend? Because I know normally folks that come out and talk about mental health, they also talk about the arts, and I hear you talking about the arts. How did you decide to weave all that together and present that to folks so they get a better understanding of just not what's happening in the community, but what's going on with you as an artist?
So one of my traumas is you know, experiencing people dying. People, you know, friends of mine going to prison. You know, I had 2 uncles that was you know, they was in the streets getting money and stuff, and they're like in their 50s now. No, almost approaching their 60s pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen that generation go through the violence and the killing and all that kind of stuff, going to jail and everything. And then I started to see it happen in my generation. I'm talking about as early as 11, 12 years old and stuff like that. Like my friends that's, you know, close friends, and they're just going to jail 4 or 5 years, 6 years here, 10 years here. And realizing that this is what impacts me, I was like, you know what? God forbid I ever leave this earth. God forbid anything happen to me and I don't really tap into my creativity. And success to me comes in how many people you can impact. It's not a monetary level. It's more about your accomplishments and how you can really impact people with your accomplishments. So I said, you know what? I have to raise my value for myself, and I have to impact my people as much as I can. So my first thought, as far as music-wise, as far as that being a talent and a hobby, I kind of like been playing with it for many years. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know what? My legacy, how do I leave a legacy? And I just figure like, you know what, this is how I leave my legacy, by expressing my God-given abilities and talents and really sharing it with the masses, you know, and like music, the murals, the docuseries. So even though I'm a subject of this docuseries, this is a story that we all can relate to. It's all of our stories. You know what I'm saying? So when I start talking about, you know, people uniting and in our culture and stuff like that. That's a message that this is not a song where you say, oh, this song is hot or this song is corny. No, that message resonates. It's not about that. It's about the message and how serious it is that we really need to get on one accord, because we used to be there. We used to be there. However, we got to get back to that. We got to take back our culture, for one. You know what I'm saying? And we got to really raise our vibrations as a culture to see a difference and make a change. Because if you alive now and you even hearing this interview, you have a purpose. And you're meant to be hearing this message between Buddah Chief and Finesse. We're just the messengers to put it in front of you.
I want to go back to something you said earlier when you had your music and you were releasing it. And probably during that time, I can imagine it was that time when they were trying to get rid of music that had a message and push hip hop to the gangster side. What was that like for you as an artist? Because I want other artists to hear this, because they feel they have to do one side of the music to be accepted, but you continue to do you, and they bring that positive message to now it's coming back around to where either you could re-release or do new music. But what was that experience like for you, going through having somebody tell you your music is not what the street want to hear, and they're not from the street, but they telling you this is what they want to hear, but you can't do that. But if you come and do this, we'll push it.
So the issue that I had was this. I come from behind the executive side of the industry. And there was a point in time that I started to record music. And you know, I always been talking street stuff, entrepreneurship, hustle, and all that kind of stuff. And I sprinkled in messages of positivity and love and stuff like that. But I actually, at a point in time, was catering to what I felt like, you know what, for me to get on, for me to do this, this is what I need to say, this is how I need to rap. So certain songs wasn't necessarily going in alignment with my integrity and stuff like that. But, you know, it just didn't feel right, you know. So even taking meetings and going into offices and stuff like that, presenting my music and stuff, people was liking the music. And these are some of my peers, industry executive peers that we came up in the industry together. The issue was that they didn't know how to market me. So from the corporation and the business side of it, they was liking the music, but as far as my image, the way I was dressing, like I had recently cut my dreads. I was wearing glasses at the time. You know, and the way that I was dressing, I guess it wasn't appealing to them, the person sitting behind the desk. Even though you're my peer, it wasn't appealing to you. So the word that was used is they didn't know how to market me, you know. And also, being that I was talking street stuff, I had a friend, a close friend. She, you know, her brother was killed in the streets and everything. And when I brought her to the studio to feature with me on a record one time, she was like, yo, bro, you talking too much. And I was like, what you mean by that? She was like, you know, you low key, you do your stuff on the low and everything, but like people hear this music, they gonna know, you know, what you went to and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of took heed to that because, you know, all respect and rest in peace to Nipsey. I kind of like years later, like in hindsight, I'm like, damn, like she was warning me in a way, because these streets is different. You know what I'm saying? When you trying to get to a certain level of success and people see you doing certain things, like I had a storefront in my community before, and when I would open up that storefront, I stopped hustling because I didn't want to do both. People in the community look at you like, oh, you doing this and you doing that, you dipping dabbing in the streets and you got this, and people, you know, tend to be envy and jealous of that. You know what I'm saying? So in that aspect, I kind of like leaned back from the music and I started to actually manage an artist, you know, at that time. So I kind of like stopped my music because it was like, here it is, I'm getting resistance at the offices and everything. I'm doing great quality music videos. So even when you go to my old YouTube from the VonJeff.com page, you're gonna see the level and quality of production of what I was doing. It was industry level. So with that resistance, as far as like going, taking meetings and all that kind of stuff, I was like, you know what? I'm not pressed to get into this industry. I got money. I'm doing what I do and stuff like that. And then, you know, taking heed to my homegirl, like, yo, like, you talking too much. I'm like, damn, I thought this is what they really wanted. You know what I'm saying? So I just fell back and I started managing and stuff like that. But now I'm back as Buddah Chief with a purpose now. The music that I have now is more purpose driven and has a better connotation and energy surrounding it as Buddah Chief. You know what I'm saying? So I'm more comfortable, I'm more experienced, and it's not to necessarily get a record deal or get accepted into the industry. So my whole direction is different now.
All right. We're talking to Buddah Chief on the Urban Influencer podcast. Great brother. I checked out his music and things, and what he's saying is true. If you want something different, and for me, it's different. I'm not knocking you young rappers. Y'all doing your thing. But when you mature, you got to see somebody with maturity and understand this business. And let me ask you this question, because you were an exec, you've been behind the scenes, you've been in front of. When you look at independent artists now, do you think that's a better way for a hip-hop artist to get on, or should they still chase record deals and record labels?
That's an interesting question, because even doing this music now, you know, it's like I have my moments like, yo, like, I know what I'm doing it for, but I still face some resistance. When I say face resistance, like I said, I'm not trying to say get a record deal, but however, to market and put my music and stuff out there, like the whole aspect of like paying for views and paying for certain marketing and all that kind of stuff. It's like you're willing to do the business, but then you realize like everybody has a handout and some sort of gimmick to the business tactics. So it's like I'm paying you for marketing, but here it is, you're paying and giving me fake views and giving me fake, like something's not tangible with it to me. You know what I'm saying? So this is why with this record, I went straight to radio with the Get Down record. I have other, you know, songs that I dropped, but as far as with this caliber of this Get Down record, I went straight to radio because I can actually see what I'm doing. I can actually track what's going on as far as like the spins that I'm getting and what regions the spins are in and everything. And I could really gauge where I'm at with it, as opposed to you showing me that I got this amount of views, but these are not real people. These are not real followers. You know what I'm saying? People are not really engaging with the music and stuff like that. So to answer your question, I would say to people is continue to invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying? When the time is right, the right people will come and support you, will come and find you. Tap into your community and really get your family and friends behind you. And they say like family and friends don't always support, but however, eventually they will have to support, as long as you stay consistent with supporting and investing in yourself. Don't necessarily jump to a person and say, oh, pay me to do this and pay me to do that. Nah, if they really believe in you, they're going to support you the best way that they can. And what I'm learning is like, Google advertisement or Google AdWords and stuff like that, that's where you should put your money in, if anything. You know what I'm saying? Right. Put your money into the advertisement as opposed to somebody that's saying, I can get you this amount of views and get you here and get you here and get you here and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Do as much as you can to create your own content. You know what I'm saying? And continue to put out your own content. There's so many different ways to break down one song. You can record yourself inside the studio. You can record yourself writing it. You can do in-studio performances. You can, you know, get people to do the TikToks and all that kind of stuff, and to support with spreading the song and all that kind of stuff. There's so many ways to like really like create multiple ways of content to promote your stuff, and you know, utilize these social media platforms as well. So to answer your question, I think I like independent. There's ways that you can really get your money back. And eventually, you know, big business and big corporations will find you if that's what your goal is. You know, there's a lot of uncomfortability, in my opinion, behind signing to major corporations and stuff like that. Because like I said, some of their intention goes against your integrity and what you may be really looking for out of a career. But you know, you gotta do what's best for you.
Right. Your thoughts on artists supporting other artists as a way to get more shows, more followers, and selling music. What are your thoughts on that?
That's the organic way of doing it. That's the organic way of doing it. Honestly, instead of looking at that other artist as your op or your competition, you know, of course, hip hop has a competitive nature to it, but you know, allow that to drive your creativity better, you know what I'm saying? Or to be inspired as opposed to looking at the person as your competition. And then collaborate, because if you got control over your area and I got control over my area, when it's time to actually do a show together in unison and the promoters or the venues don't have to worry about no violence, we can get money together. Right. You know what I'm saying? And your audience becomes my audience. So I don't care if I'm in New York and you in Philly, DC, Maryland, Jersey, Virginia, Connecticut, whatever local areas, that's starting to work your regions that's locally close to you. You know what I'm saying? And then as you build momentum, people in the Midwest, people in the South, people in the West, they're going to pick up steam and catch wind of what you're doing. And they're going to want to collaborate with you as well. And then next thing you know, yo, come out here to the West Coast. Come out here to the Midwest. I got a following. Let's perform that song we did together, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So that's the organic way of doing it. And honestly, you will have some independent artists that's hotter than some of these mainstream artists that want you to pay them so much money to feature and all that kind of stuff. I'm not knocking nobody's business. I'm not knocking your tactic to get your bread, but everybody don't have that amount of money that's being charged to get to where they got to get to. You know what I'm saying? So me, I come from the background of messing with somebody and supporting them in the beginning phases. I'm not waiting for you to get hot and then want to ride your coattail and then jump on the bandwagon. I've never been about that. You know what I'm saying? So just believe in yourself and like really start organically from within what's actually in reach of you. You know what I'm saying? So definitely do records with local artists and everything. I'm in the phase right now where I'm doing, like a lot of my peers is reaching out to me like, yo, I got this track, hop on. I just got to go record it right now. You know what I'm saying? I already wrote them. I just got to record them. But just today, it's funny I'm saying this to you. Just my friend, shout out to Doc Stone in Philly. He just sent me a record today. He just sent me a record today. Like, yo, jump on that. You know what I'm saying? I listened to the track. I'm like, I like it. I like the concept and everything. I'm just waiting for him to send me the instrumental. I'm gonna write to it, record it and everything. And then we're gonna do that. Philly is right there from New York. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good way to go about it.
I'm glad you said that, because I was going to give you an opportunity. What if other artists or producers wanted to work with you? Is there an email where they can contact you directly and y'all can maybe do something?
Yeah, definitely. So if you want to email me tracks, Buddah Chief, buddhachief.thebrand@gmail.com. You know, like that's the email where you could reach out to me, send tracks, request the links to check out the curated docuseries, any business, you know what I'm saying? You could send that to me right there. BUDDHACHIEF.THEBRAND@gmail.com. I'm definitely open to it.
Okay. And since we came on to talk about your music, your latest single, talk about that, and then we're gonna get into it, but talk about that a little
bit. So it's interesting with that particular record, because I wasn't recording at the particular time that the concept came to me. I was watching the I Gotta Have It video by Edo G and the Bulldogs, and that line,
Black classic.
Yes, definitely a classic. And one thing, shout out to Edo G, because he always had conceptual music, and that's missing from the culture as well. Like that record, Be a Father to Your Child. He made that way back when, but when you think about that record and listen to the lyrics, come on, that's raising the vibrations of the Kings. Like listen, be a father to your child, no matter what's going on with you and the mother, be a father to your child, regardless of what, you know what I'm saying? And that also touches on mental health awareness as well. We will get deeper into that, but as far as when I heard that in the record, I had recorded it and then I had put it on my Instagram. And I had tagged a few artists. I was like, yo, this would be a dope song for y'all to remake. You know what I'm saying? Nobody reacted to it. So I actually reached out to this producer by the name of Thanos Beats. And I've been working with him over several years now. I'll shoot him the idea, shoot him the concept and everything. And he would actually make the beat for certain songs I wanted to do. But this particular record, he put his foot in it for real. And the original sample that Edo G used comes from Hamilton Bohannon. He passed away, but his children actually run his estate. So the producer Thanos actually went as far back to that original sample and, you know, recreated some sounds and everything and created this phenomenal beat. And once he did the beat, I presented it to two other artists that I was working with, and nobody was jumping on it, you know what I'm saying? And I just got this creative bug, and I was just like, you know what, let me do this record. And I started writing to it and everything, building on it. Once I got a concept down, I laid some stuff down. I started sending it to certain friends who I trust in the industry. Shout out to Mr. Raj, you know, shout out to Everything Cost. That's who actually gave me some ideas and told me how to make the chorus better. Shout out to my man Math Hoffa, who gave me a sense of direction. He was saying, like, I actually presented to him before, and he was saying, like, you know, I wouldn't approach this song as like being too preachy to the people. I would make it a feel good, fun time record. You know what I'm saying? And he said kind of like what Will Smith did on Summertime. And, you know, from when I always remember when he said that to me, and that's how I really approached the second verse on this record. So you know, and now here we have it, you know, Get Down. It's a great feel record, you know what I'm saying? So along with the Edo G sample saying Black people unite, let's all get down, I also added the interpolation of Queen Latifah's UNITY. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So I had my homegirl, shout out to Sherry John. I had her sing on the chorus. She did the interpolation of Queen Latifah's UNITY. And what we have is a phenomenal, timeless record right now.
What you got is an underground classic. That's what it is. So before I let you introduce the record, I want to thank you for being on the show. I can talk to you because there's more questions I have, but we're going to get together. We're going to get together on this mental health thing. Definitely, and then I also want to have you on a panel to talk about 50 years of hip hop. But that's all. We'll do that behind the scenes. But
and I can come up to Syracuse. I can come up to Syracuse if you need me to come up there. I got family up there. I actually
went to Syracuse?
Westmoreland. Shout out to my cousin Chardonnay. Shout out to my aunt Charlotte.
I might know them because I grew up on Westmoreland, but I'm in Baltimore right now. But you ain't saying nothing but a word. We can go do something because Syracuse needs some. Hey, we need to talk about bringing. We'll talk off. But this is the Urban Influencer, and listen, for all you independent cats, whether you're doing gospel hip hop, rap, or soul music, the Urban Influencer is where you need to be. Get in contract with them. Go to the www.theurbaninfluencer.com and you'll see a contact form. Put your information in there and someone will get back with you. Get your music on the charts the right way. Better than Billboard, better than anything else out there. Let them know that Finesse sent you. You know how I always do. Follow me, Soul on Soul with Finesse, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'll be back with another show, but it has been a pleasure today. Have my guest, Buddah Chief, on here. And we're going to be doing some other things, folks. Don't be trying to get up with us trying to figure out what we're doing. You'll hear it when you need to hear it. But before we end this show, I'm going to let Buddah introduce his song, and we're going to get out of here.
What's good? What's your energy type? This is Buddah Chief, and you rocking out with Finesse Demps. Check out Get Down.
And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Go dummy, Kyle. I got a mansion in heaven forever when I make it home. That blood money ain't no other price, I ain't selling my soul. Them blessings falling every day, I wake up, I can't count them alone. They fascinated by the money, but I'ma be walking on gold. Running up souls like a check, I be aiming at demons, ain't no respect. I remember when I was down living a mess. Keep that Bible on me cause this life is a test. I be praying different, moving like it was chess. And my game different, Holy Spirit gon' flex. On that kingdom business, I ain't taking no rest. Ducking seeing shorty taking off like a jet.
From the A to the shot, boy we a threat. We coming straight at they neck. They capping, they flexing, they capping, they flexing. They know they ain't living like that. Swerving my lane, you might wreck. Too many just talk, but we step beyond all measures. Stop dying for pleasures and treasures that's gon' get left. Yeah, you got a mansion on earth when you make it home, huh? That's cap. You ballin', ain't stressing, you flexing. Your money long, huh? Ain't worried about nothing, ain't lacking, cause you keep that chrome, huh? That's bad. Tell me what all of that matter when your body gone, huh? I got a mansion in heaven, been serving these streets like quick trips and 7-Elevens. Pulpit official, but I ain't no reverend. Hosanna the highest, I give on Miss Reverend. The body of God, my walk is the evidence. Streets made of gold and I am a resident. God above all and I'm with the president. Trench after trench, you know that we heaven sent.
I got a mansion in heaven forever when I make it home. That blood money ain't no other price, I ain't selling my soul. Them blessings falling every day, I wake up, I can't count them alone. They fascinated by the money, but I'ma be walking on gold. Running up souls like a check, I be aiming at demons, ain't no respect. I remember when I was down living a mess. Keep that Bible on me cause this life is a test. I be praying different, moving like it was chess. And my game different, Holy Spirit gon' flex. On that kingdom business, I ain't taking no rest. Ducking seeing shorty taking off like a jet.
Shine, son, I'm a king. I will reveal the prince of you. Frank Nick status, do it for the principle.
Black people unite and let's all get down. Black people unite and let's all get down. Black people unite and let's all get down. Black people unite. Black people unite.
Alphabet, I do or die, I choose to live. Made my name without killing or doing a bid. Remember back in the days when you was a kid, parents had to make do and put food in the fridge. What we know now, imagine if we knew then. It takes one mindset instilled in two men to mend the blend together. What crack ties shattered. One of the many reasons we say Black Lives Matter. If you don't understand, here's context and clarity. In case you can't fathom blatant racial disparity. Don't need handouts or any form of charity. Need a resurgence of black solidarity and black on black crime. You know we gotta stop. My belief started with war on drugs and hip hop. Let's do the right thing. Let's murder for wrong things. What if King Vaughn heard of Herbert Vaughn King?
Black people unite and let's all get down. 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 Black people unite. Black people unite.
My seed, his seed, uncles and aunties, indigenous to villages, eating under palm trees, pose family photos, post I tag you, unified movements, locks and dips at battle, what have you, like when Mike plays capes on James Brown. Before taking the life, we could fight round for round, or voice our differences like men having sit down, LOG voice.
Unite and let's all get down.
No burners to kill, only burgers to grill. Let them argue if it go any further than chill. My moms know your pops, how am I your eye? Went to the same junior high, I live right up the block. Told my right hand man leave my cousin alone. She's a teenager, even though she look grown. Uncle came home after doing a stretch, looking like the 9-5 version of Tretch. Deeper the roots, stronger the family tree. Call me the chief, turning over new leaves. What's beef? Beef is an insanity plea. When house target filled, either name on the lease. To say the least, We out here doing the most. The more relative distance should make us close. Feel the vibe, vibrate to the sound. On the same frequency, tune in, crowd around.
Black, we unite and let's all get down. 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 Black, we unite, black, we unite, black.
Hey. Yeah. Give me a little time. I know I'm gonna be always on the grind. You think I got you just hanging on the line, playing with your mind, wasting all your time. But if you could see inside, you would know you are my lover. You're the reason I trust every season's for us. We don't need to give up. Just give me a little time. That's all I need. I need patience. Patience. Ooh. I need patience. Patience, ooh. Give me a little time. I know we're stressed, it's a mess, not our best, but we're fine. Cause you're the one I flaunt, everyone could see everything I want, everything I need. Don't switch sides. I need patience. Patience, ooh. I need patience. Patience, ooh. I need my friend, my lover. You know no other. Give me a little bit of time. Say what's on your mind. I love you to pieces. There's no other reason. We could do this anyway. Make no mistakes. I need patience. Patience. Ooh. I need patience. Patience. Ooh. Tell me how to love you, baby. Writer's Block. Church boy. Out of sight, out of mind. Boy, I need you by my side. Let's get lost in the lights. I don't wanna be want you.